I am Become Big Guy, and thank you for viewing this video. On December the 15th, around noon, I released a video to YouTube that detailed the City of Houston's plans to move the Sunnyside Multi-Service Center from its current location to an old landfill about 2 miles away. Simultaneously, the Houston Press ran an article, and it was an interview with my friend and colleague, Travis McGee, discussing the same issue. Ironically, around 4 p.m. that same day, the city councilman sent out a last-minute meeting notice for the coming Monday, which was December the 19th. Before that meeting, on Saturday, ABC ran a story, and then at the meeting, NBC came out to do coverage as well. This video is a recap of what happened at that meeting on that Monday. But I will have to warn you that since that meeting, it has become painfully obvious to me that something more sinister is occurring, and that the main priority of this councilman is moving this multi-service center from its current location to the old landfill, because its current location is valuable commercial property. Some of the things that have been happening since that last meeting: we've had several people posing as supporters of our cause show up to our meetings and attempt to sabotage them. We've had our seniors being harassed, getting numerous phone calls saying that they should support the move of this center, and if they do not support it, the center will probably be closed completely. We've also heard that the employees who are currently in the center have been told that they may lose their jobs if the center is not moved. Please view this video in its entirety. It's informational, and it's also entertaining, because the city councilman will provide you with a lot of comedy relief. Share this with as many people as possible. We must fight. We must get the word out. They cannot do this to this community. Thank you.
It's pretty much a continuation from City Hall. It was a bunch of lying, but fortunately the citizens was not in the mood to hear all the BS on that particular night. We pretty much took the meeting over, and that's the only way we was gonna be heard, if we took the meeting over. If we had just sat there quietly, we wouldn't have got anything accomplished, but we did on that particular night.
Okay, so when you say we took the meeting over,
Right.
what do you mean by that?
We pretty much interrupted the meeting. That's what we had to do, because the council member wanted to continue to lie about things and talk about everything other than the topic, which is the Sunnyside Multi-Purpose Center. So we had to intervene, we had to interrupt. But we did it with facts, though. We did it with facts. No one could argue with facts. Only person that was putting out false information was the council person.
Okay, all right, third paragraph. Stand back, come
Not just part of it, but all of it.
Come on, now say, come back so we see. Yeah.
Methane was detected during the drilling of one of the borings at a concentration high enough to stop drilling. So your own paperwork tells you.
First of all, don't forget this part at the bottom, and this was in 2010.
That's what I asked you. What was it?
I said 2010.
So that's not current, brother.
No, listen, okay.
You putting out information that's old, and then you.
First of all, no, let me back up. First of all, the way, no.
Don't say people spread rumors when this is true.
Well, it's not true. Engineer.
You're not obviously.
But we have experts at the city of Houston who handle that.
Methane gas doesn't dissolve. Methane gas tries to find a way out.
Okay.
We live in Texas. The soil moves.
Okay.
Everybody who has a house knows
Right.
you got shifting.
Okay.
You get some shifting, that gas is coming up.
All right.
You put a 60,000 square
Okay.
foot building on that property, the gas is
All
coming
right,
up.
thank you.
Manhole covers all over that park. Manhole covers got holes in them so the gas escapes.
Right.
They on top of the park, not on the city thoroughfares. Back in 1930s, there was no regulations on the dump. You do not know what's over there. Formaldehyde, sulfur, everything, all that is toxic. You the one up here lying. Do your own research before you come out here with this crap here, or read all of it.
One of the things that the councilman did is he put up some documents on the projector.
Right.
And he decided that he was going to use one of the documents to justify why we should be able to put the new building on the landfill.
Right.
And one of the things he did was he read the last sentence on the page.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Again, very misleading. There's a bunch of lying going on.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to dealing with the seniors only. He used to deceiving the senior citizens with his scare tactics and whatnot. Now, what I find ironic and amazing, the report is 122 pages long, and he tried to just read one line.
He talked about it would take, first it was 2 years, then it was 2.5 years, then it was 3 years.
Right.
Construction time.
Right.
What do you think about that?
The construction time was another scare tactic, saying that the seniors would not have anywhere to go. Well, take Worden High School, for instance. Those kids never had to relocate, and they're going on 10 years. They never had to relocate, though. They built one portion and moved it, housed the kids in the old portion until the new portion was finished. Take, for instance, Compass Stadium, U of H Stadium, NRG Stadium, Minute Maid Stadium, Toyota Center, Dawson High School, Chavez High School, and a new Marriott hotel downtown took less time than what the council person said. Now, he went from 2 years to 2.5 years to 3 years in less than an hour.
When we were doing our research,
Right.
we also found a report that was done for the 288 expansion.
Right.
And in that report, they identified several landfills.
Right.
Now, for the audience, to give you an idea, the 288 expansion is located in the same area where this landfill is. Okay, so they identified some landfills, and they would not identify them by name. That was one thing.
Right.
And in the report, they said that they have no idea what is in those landfills because there was no real records taken of what was dumped.
Right.
And there was no real accountability.
Right.
Back then, when it was actually started.
Right.
You know, before they closed it.
Right.
So when they tell us that they know that this landfill is safe, is that necessarily a true statement?
No, they said the same thing about Kennedy Heights. Kennedy Heights is less than 3 miles from the Sunnyside Multi-Purpose Center. In fact, the city of Houston, I repeat, the city of Houston allowed a subdivision to be built on top of a former Chevron dump site. And when I say they allowed it, because they had to give the building permits.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I've been out here living in the Houston area, down in Kennedy Heights, since '78. I'm quite sure a lot of y'all have been there before that. But like he said, they had all that toxic waste down there in Kennedy Heights. They came in and paid a few of us off, but we lost so many loved ones. You can't replace loved ones with money. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, don't even go over it. If there is any kind of toxic waste over there, don't go there. And you can't trust the city to do another inspection like they did before. They built these homes. I might have to move any day now. I'm quite sure there's still some toxic waste down there. Let those other developers, those new developers you just mentioned, take their building over there.
All right.
I think the value of our young kids and the remainder of my life is worth the 2.5, 3 years, even if it's 6 years. It'd be worth me coming back here. I like to see it built right back here in this vicinity. Thank you for coming, sir. Appreciate it.
So when you talk about the well, before I get into false information, how many people showed up?
It was well over 100 people. But the council person keeps saying he's not going to do what just 3 or 4 people tell him to do, but it was well over 100-something people there. Matter of fact, before we entered the room, he just had like 2 or 3 rows of chairs there. And we pretty much added the rest of the chairs. The place was pretty much packed.
Yeah, you're right.
The dangerous building that the council person said that need to be condemned and torn down, it was packed.
Right. Now, we talked about the Friends of Sunnyside.
Right.
Now, during the meeting last night, he kept hitting on that he was going to create the Friends of Sunnyside, and those were the people that he was going to listen to, and they were going to make the decision on what the district does.
Right.
What's your feelings on that?
Well, it was over 100+ friends of Sunnyside. I mean the true friends of Sunnyside, not his particular friends of Sunnyside. And all of them said hell no to the proposal. But the council person is the only one that's keep trying to push the proposal. But everyone that I saw in that room said no.
Oh, hang on. What we will do, again, is survey the neighborhood. And in particular, the people that use the building on a regular basis. And we will determine what the Friends of Sunnyside, I haven't identified it.
The Friends of Sunnyside decide where you want to put that facility is. The Friends of Sunnyside, not Councilmember Boykin, will determine this, not 3 individuals. The Friends of Sunnyside.
He started using scare tactics like he might take the money and the building might fall in and things like that. But
One of my colleagues on city council said the other day, if y'all don't want it, I'll take it to District A in Kingwood, Cleveland.
We want it. We didn't say we didn't want it. We want it.
Me, from an engineer, a structural engineer perspective, that this building can be rehabbed. So I give the 25 back and then put in for a rehab of this current building.
That's what you're saying. He also hit a lot on demoing the building.
Right.
And not working in phases.
Right.
Now, to me, now you tell me if I'm wrong, but to me it sounded like the people in the room all agreed that you didn't have to demo the whole building completely, that you could work in phases.
Right.
Is that the same sentiment that you got?
Same sentiment I got. 100 or more people in a room, all of us on one page, that the Sunnyside multi-purpose center should be rebuilt in the original location. Also, it could be rebuilt in phases since the 2 buildings are not connected in the first place. The only person in the room that was not hearing that was the council person. The only person in the room that couldn't count that night, because he said he was not going to listen to 3 or 4 people, was the council person. It was well over 100 people.
Politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. So we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They want obedient workers. Obedient workers, people who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long. They tell you what to believe all day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means.